All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in. New episode, World Series of Spades podcast. Clint Coley, my guy, Professor T, a.k.a. the final boss, a.k.a. Mr. Shao Kahn. Before we get into some other things, right? Let's start here. Number one. If you see this message, if you see this video, and you go to Howard University, we're on campus right now, actually. We got 2 representatives on campus right now, this very moment, signing y'all up for the tournament and signing you up if you don't know how to play spades in the classes tomorrow. Speaking of the classes tomorrow, who's teaching the class? My man over here, Professor T. Now, he's not going to be looking like that when he's teaching the class, all right? No.
You don't know that.
No, oh, yes, I do. We got World Series of Spades polo shirts, all right? You're not teaching these kids spades looking like that, all right? And there's nothing wrong with how you look, but you come on, man. But
you gotta bring a certain decorum to the classroom.
Right. So yes, man, if you're on Howard's campus right now, or if you're listening to this, we are on Howard's campus right now. Do me a favor, go check us out. We're in Blackburn. Go sign up. World Series of Spades, bicycle cards, World Series of Spades, HBCU tournament. Tomorrow, April 9th, we will be teaching. We're going to be teaching spades in the Truth and Service Center. All right, or Truth and Service Room, I'm sorry. And then on Thursday, we want to see who the best spades players are. Don't forget don't forget what the prize is. $2,000 in scholarship money. Don't forget you get bragging rights and 2 free tickets to the Roots picnic. All right. So yes. All right. So one more time, just an announcement. If you hear this and you see this, today is Monday, April 8th. Tomorrow, we will be teaching spades at Howard University. Right now, we are on campus. I know, you see my background, you see his background. We're not there right now. That's because we're recording this on Friday. But it will be Monday, and we are here. We're at Howard. Sign up in the Blackburn Center to either learn how to play spades or sign up for the tournament or sign up for both. You can sign up for both. You take a crash course on Tuesday, you play on Thursday. And let me tell you something, Professor, am I right or wrong? There's a such thing as beginner's luck in spades.
100%.
I've beaten some veteran people when I first learned how to play spades when I was a kid. So ask my Aunt Sonetta, ask my Aunt Nancy. That's neither here nor there. All right. And then also, don't forget, April 11th, that is the tournament. Again, you get Roots picnic tickets, $2,000 in scholarship money. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be free food at both events. Chick-fil-A to be exact. Let me throw that out there. Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Chick-fil-A. Lemonades. We got nuggets. We got fries. We got sandwiches. Yeah, we you know what I mean? We giving you something for your time.
I'm very happy to be there.
He said, I'm very happy to be there. So yeah, man. All right. I'll see you there, Howard. Okay. All right. This is the first episode where we're only going to focus on the online tournament. But before we do, I want to talk about the last primetime game that we saw real quick. All right. And one of the things that I seen was, how do I put this lightly? How do you get a 10 hand that is blatant wheels? I mean, this was not even, and I wish I could show, but this was a blatant wheels. Blatant. I mean, I'm talking, remember I told you last week, I hate when on, people be posting hands of the day and it's big joker, little joker, 2 a diamond, 2, any average spades player knows this. This motherfucker had it.
This was that hand.
This was absolutely that hand. And he fucked it off.
Very much so.
How does that happen? Very much so. How does that happen?
I don't know how out of sync you need to be with your partner to take what should be 11 books and make 8. or 9 or 7. I don't even know how many they made.
I think they made 9. They made 9. They made
Okay.
9.
Well, yeah. It
Yeah.
should have been 11. It could have been 12. Like that was hand of ridiculousness.
Right.
And they bid the 10, didn't they? They bid the 10.
They bid
and
the 10.
missed the 10.
And missed the 10.
Like we were all like, yo, this is a 10 hand. You better bid it. Like, and we almost said it. Jersey's finest always going to bid that. If they got 8 in the possible, they're going to bid the 10.
Right.
And they bid it and then missed it. And I don't get it.
And I'm going to also call it. It was Sue Young that did it. It was Sue Young that did it. It was Sue Daddy, whatever he called himself. It was him. He did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He fucked it off. And I'm trying to see if I could go to the hand. I'm looking. There it is. Here it is. Let me tell y'all what his hands is. Let me tell you what his hand was. He had the big joker. He had the little joker. He had the 2 of diamonds. He had the 2 of spades. He had the ace of spades. He had the ace of hearts. He had the 6 of spades. He had the ace of hearts, the 7 of hearts, the 6 of hearts, the queen of clubs, the 9 of clubs, the king of diamonds, the 6 of diamonds. So right there, first of all, off spades alone, you got 5, right?
Yes.
The
ace, you can't not have 5.
You can't not have 5. The ace of hearts is 6, right? The king of diamonds, because you only got 2 diamonds. If you're playing right, that should be 7, right?
And I'm counting that if I got that many.
Right. And then you only got 2 clubs and 2 diamonds. So that 6 of spades should walk.
Could walk.
Mind you, your partner has the 4 of spades, the 8 of spades, the 9 of spades, the 10 of spades, the ace of clubs, and the king of clubs. And both the ace and the king of clubs should have went around because because everybody had at least 2 clubs. So right there, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, that's 9 by itself.
I might need to might need to watch that hand back.
You need to watch
see how they gave that up.
So I'll tell you exactly what happened. How they gave it up was, first of all, he let on the hand where, so he won with the ace of hearts, and then he led with the 6 of hearts, right?
And he only had 2 hearts, right?
Yeah, no, he had 3 hearts. He led with the 6 of hearts. What ended up happening was Devon walked with an 8 of hearts. That's number 1 right there, right? Number 2, right? On the 8 of clubs, he cut. You know what I'm saying? So he leads off with the 6. He leads off with the 6 of diamonds, right? And he got ace queen. That's what happened. He should have after the first spade cut, he either should have went to hearts or went to spades. He didn't do that. He led with a 6 of diamonds, ended up getting ace queen. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked because Devon had the jack of hearts. He played it, and then Dazzling DG played the smart move by playing the jack of spades, and Jerzey's and Marcus did not have any hearts left.
Caught him with his pants down. Pause.
No pause. No pause. His pants.
No pause. Yeah, listen, I can't call it, man. Like, you have a hand like that, and everybody saw it. Everybody watched that hand.
Right.
You gave that up, and it's
right.
And you get ace queen when you only have 2 diamonds, and that it's almost okay. You only got 2 diamonds,
but he did not. He did not bring out the money.
He didn't bring out the money. He didn't say put the money in the bag,
as Todd Davis would say.
Shout out to Todd Davis. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right.
But what does that lead to, Clint Coley?
What that leads to is, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached the end of the regular season for the World Series of Spades online tournament. We have reached the end. It is now my favorite time, because now this is the 2nd year in a row that we're having this. Again, I know you upset we don't count the first one, but this is now a thing every year. This is my favorite time of the year. Playoff spades.
Matter of fact, this is the triple threat, right? It is Final Four weekend.
Yes, it is.
Shout out NC State, both of them in the Final Four.
Yep.
It is WrestleMania weekend.
It is WrestleMania weekend.
Shout out to Philly there at Lincoln Financial Field. And it is the end of the regular season. I mean, we are going into playoff Spades, and we keep telling you that this is a different world.
Right. This
This
is a
is
different
not
world.
twice a week. This is
And I also want to point out, playoff spades is the same time as NBA playoff spades. It's the same time as NHL playoff or NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. So we got all the playoffs going on. All right. So here is the final seeding. Number 1, 2K9 Boys.
Bag
Number
Boys.
2, Bag Boys. Number 2, Chaos Control. And also, you know what? I'm going to say their records too of played wins and played losses.
Yep.
All right. 2K9 Boys, 22-10. Chaos Control, 21-12. That couple, 16-10. Nuck If You're Stuck, 19-12. Jero Animals, 15-10. Team to Beat, 17-12.
Let's actually just pause there for a second, Clint, because those are your 6 division winners.
Yes, all of them won their division. Yes.
So if they're all won a division,
yeah,
that means they're guaranteed a top 6 spot, which means they're guaranteed a home series in the first round.
In the first round. That's right.
Yes.
All right. 7 through 12. TC Tricksters, 21-13. Team Bui are defending champions, 18-12. Glory Carriers, 18-13. M2S, 15-12, which we'll get to them later. Us, 13-11. Star Studded, 13-11. Those are the 7-12 seeds.
Yep.
And the last 4 that got in. Number 13, Kamasha. Number 14, Toshiba's Augie. Number 15, Jerzey's Bitch. Number 16, yeah, I said it. 16, Dubs.
So a lot of repeats. I want to kind of go back to that 7 through 12, right?
That was me. Jerzey's finest is 15.
Jerzey's finest, right?
That was me.
But let's go back to 7 through 12.
I don't take back what I said. I meant what I said. And
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
TC Tricksters have the 3rd best record.
Yeah.
In the tournament, 21-13. If you were following along, you were like, wait a minute, they were better than that couple. They were better than Nuck If You're Stuck, and you're right? They have the 3rd best record. But that's why winning your division is so important. They're in the same division as Chaos Control, and they were a half game behind them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
One more win would have taken them above Chaos Control.
Yep, and they had and Chaos Control and Bui had the last game of the season, and Bui elected not to play in that game, which in retrospect, right? I didn't necessarily agree with the decision to beat that me. I understood the decision. Doesn't mean I necessarily agree with the decision. The decision was basically like Bui was right. You know, they didn't have anything to play for. They couldn't move up. They couldn't move down. So it doesn't make any sense for them to play. I understand that. In that though, TC Tricksters did not have an opportunity to win their division. And it is what it is, right? Like that's one of the flaws that we had in putting together and telling people like, look, man, like your play wins matter the most. But I can understand from a team perspective, if I'm not going to move up or if I'm not going to move down and it doesn't affect anybody in the playoffs per se, then no, I'm not, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only thing that it did affect was TC Tricksters could have been the 2 seed and Chaos Control could be the 7 seed. But at the end of the day, right, like, let's be real. Ain't much to me. I mean, look, let's be real, right? If Chaos Control, if TC Tricksters is the 2 seed, right, that means that they're playing the 15 seed in Jerzey's Punks.
Finest. Yeah.
Jerzey's Punks, right? And and I'll tell y'all why. If TC and if but I'd rather have Chaos Control versus Jerzey's Punks because they have been chirping back and forth all season. There's kind of like a little mini rivalry right there. So I'm not gonna lie, that does work in my best interests.
Sure. I do think there's a big difference between the 2 seed and the 7 seed, right? Because yes, the 2 seed is going to get the 15 seed, which is Jerzey's finest at this point. But if you win, you are guaranteed another a
Yeah,
home
your home.
series.
Yeah, it is.
Matter of
It's
fact,
really
you're
about home
guaranteed
rules. It's
two
really
more.
about home rules. Yeah, it's really about home
You're
rules.
guaranteed two more. The number 2 seed has
Yeah,
guaranteed if they make it, they have 3
yeah,
home series. The only
I
time they
agree.
wouldn't get a home series is
Right,
if the 1 and the 2 make the finals.
right.
So that's
I
a
agree.
bigger deal.
I agree.
So
I agree.
yeah, so listen, I think, and listen, I'm actually on the opposite side of you in terms of like, should they play, should they have not have played, right?
No, I think they should have played. I
Okay,
understand the logic. Again, I think they should have played because I settle it on the table. But I
sure.
understand. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's kind of
yeah.
like the joke with Chris Rock talking about
Chris Rock. Yep.
yeah, he's like, I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I
But
understand.
understand.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. But see, and here's the other side of that. Here's the other side of that. Because listen, we decided they didn't want to play. That's their right. Jersey's Finest also made that same decision, and they have the same right. I know we're going to talk about that a lot more in detail,
Yeah,
but they had the same right,
they
right?
did.
And
They had
so,
the
so
same right.
here's the other side of that argument, right? If you don't like that a team is elected to not play and it's going to affect you in your
Yeah,
seeding or your standings,
right.
you should have won more games,
I do agree with that. I agree
right?
with that.
TC Tricksters, who for the last 3 weeks, I think I've picked them to win the whole tournament, right?
Yeah,
And
I've
most
been
of the
picking them
time,
to I've been picking them to go to the finals. I've been picking Jerome
right?
for the last
I've,
couple
I've been
weeks.
picking them to win the tournament, right?
Mm.
And they were a 2 seed almost every time.
Right, 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 right,
Every
right.
time we come, right? So it's one of the, if they would have won their game, I think it was Tuesday night, Monday night, Tuesday night.
They had some key losses. They had some key
Right.
losses.
They would have been the 2 seed no matter what
No
happened
matter
in
what.
that
Yeah.
Bui chaos game, right? But they lost that game, right? And let's go back a little bit further. Everybody in the tournament has more than 10 losses.
Everybody does. At least
10
10
or more losses. Do you know how many teams last season had less than 10?
I think.
Yes.
Who had less than 10? Bui had less than 10. Giroux had less than 10. JQ Suited had less than 10. I want to say Star Studded also had less than 10. And is that it?
Oh, dirty.
And Old Dirty. Shout out to Josh. Old Dirty.
So 5 teams last season had less than 10 losses. And by the way, it wasn't like they only played like 20 games, right? Star Studded played 31 games, lost 7. JQ Suited 23-7. That's 30 games. Bui 33-3.
Yeah.
You know, Giroux played 32 games. Oh, 30 played 37 games and lost 9, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking big number of games and still
because the league is better. There's better teams this year. The league is better. There's better teams this year.
The parity is real.
Yeah,
the parity is
better.
absolutely real.
The league is better. But here's my problem with Jersey's Finest, right? You talked all this shit all season about how you don't duck no smoke. That has been his line. We don't duck no smoke. But let me tell you something, right? You have not been the same since we've waited. We had the call out tournament during the Christmas break. You called out Giroux Animals and you got your fucking face stomped in, right? And you retired from the chat. Now you tell me you said he had personal issues going on, blah 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 blah. But you talk cash shit in the chat, and the moment you got your fucking hat ran in, you retired. You didn't say nothing. You were quiet, and I don't respect that. So now you come back and you're like, yo, we gonna make the playoffs, and God forbid anybody who play us in the first round because it's going to be an upset. I'm like, all right, cool. But then I'm looking, you told me I think it was Monday or Tuesday, we were like, whoa. Jersey's Finest, if they lose their last 2 games, they're out the playoffs. They're not even playing the playoffs. But all they have to do to make the playoffs is win 1 game. And the 1 game they had to win was against the worst team in the fucking tournament. You playing double D's, 3 wins at that point, 3 wins, 28 losses. You lose to that team on prime time. So now your playoff chances is slim to none because now you gotta play the next team behind you, which was Gotham Knights, and the winner got in. And what you elected to do was you said, you know what, since played wins matter more than forfeits, we just gonna elect not to play and we'll take the playoffs. That's some bitch ass shit. That's some bitch ass shit. And if I ever saw you in person, let me tell you this, and I'm saying this right now for everybody. Jersey's finest, after this, once you get fucking swept by Chaos Control, you're no longer allowed in my shit. Don't play in my league. I don't like pussy shit like that. You are no longer allowed to come to any World Series of Spades sanctioned event. Don't come to the Roots picnic. I don't want to kick it with you. I don't want to skate with you. I don't want to do nothing. That's some pussy ass shit. You talked all this like, oh, we nice, we the best, we a good team, we don't duck no smoke, and you decide that you not gonna play for the right to play in the playoffs after you done lost 11 fucking straight. That lets me know you'll do anything to win, and I don't fuck with people like that. I don't fuck with people like that. If you're willing to do it for a free fucking tournament, that's some pussy ass shit. So no, don't come back to my shit. You are no longer allowed, my guy. Fuck you. And my mom told me don't ever say fuck something if you don't mean it. I mean that shit with all my soul. Corny ass nigga. That's some corny ass shit. You are not a Spades player. You are not go to the other league with that dumb shit. Fucking clown. Fuck you, man. That's some corny ass shit. And you make a mockery of me and you made a mockery of this league. Corny ass shit. And I'll tell that to you straight to your face. Corny. Fucking corny, dog. So, hey, the bounty is out. Chaos Control, handle business. Extra $100 for y'all asses if y'all decide to if y'all sweep them. Bounty is out.
I do have a rebuttal. If I may have the floor.
Go ahead. I don't really care. Go ahead.
So let's back up a little bit because we made some decisions throughout the season, right?
Yeah.
And the decision we made somewhat at the end of it, right? I think it was like 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
We was like, you know what? We got 8 teams going from the tournament at this point, right? We lost 7 really early.
Yeah.
We need to make played wins matter more. We've been kind of like, you know what I mean? Making it more important as we went, right? And at some point, like I said, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we was like, all right, cool. Like we're throwing out forfeits because there's so many. Like I said, you think of that couple is won their division with playing 26 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we's like, cool. All the forfeits are gone. We're not even gonna care about them anymore. Right. And I made a comment last week. I said, I think there's a flaw here. As a matter of fact, I got it. Right. Shout out to the person who texted me. It was like, yo, I think I found the loophole, right? And we never came back to it. I was actually like, yo, today's not the day, blah, blah, blah. We never came back to it. I'm pretty sure this was the conversation, right? That somebody was going to find the loophole to kind of get in the tournament. And we've been kind of joking all season about, hey, would you throw games to get a better seed or to play a better team, right? This is kind of the culmination of all of those things. Right. So listen, Jersey's in the playoffs now, right? The bounty's out. Chaos Control. Listen, $100 out of Clint's pocket. I'm good with it. But
it's got to be a sweep. It's got to be a sweep though. There's got to be a sweep.
There you go.
It's got to be a sweep. Sweep
it's
them.
On the table.
The bounty is on. It's out.
Right.
I don't want them.
But now.
Go ahead.
Now they have the opportunity to actually play. Now here's the thing. I want to kind of come. I said I was going to run the stats for all the scenarios, right? And you know who should be the most upset?
Keaton.
About these changes?
Who?
PG 2020.
Keaton.
Because
hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
Keaton, we had a bet, and I told you you'd be a first round playoff exit or you leave the league. Keaton, you didn't even make the playoffs. Now, I'd rather have Keaton in the league than Jersey's punk asses because at least they got some integrity. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? The fact of the matter is that since we had implemented cameras, because I'm going off on these motherfuckers. Since we implemented cameras, Jersey's finest has only won 2 games. Played games, 2 or 3 played games, and they've lost about 12 or 13 of them, right? That lets
I
me
mean, they're
know
2-14, something like that.
right. And guess what? You pulling some shit like this, that lets me know you'll do anything to win, which means you were probably cheating. You were probably cheating beforehand. You and your partner were cheating. I don't accuse anybody publicly of cheating in spades, but I guarantee you y'all were. Y'all were cheating. Y'all some suckers. Mainly Marcus. I don't know Sue Young, but Ricky Tan was doing Ricky Tan shit. Hello, Lee.
Well, to that to that end, cameras on, audio on for both players in games moving forward. All right.
Hey, everybody got to be on camera.
See it. But yeah, listen.
And damn right. And guess what? We're gonna be at Howard while the first round of the playoffs is on. I got my laptop. I am peeping in on Jerzey's finest game. I'm going to get on camera and call them. I am going to verbally abuse this man. Verbally abuse. Like, you thought boy, and I'm putting it out right now. If I see you and I'm gonna say the same energy, I'm good with whatever happens next.
Right. But shout out to Keaton, shout out to Lady J. Like I said, we made some changes throughout the tournament.
I'm mad, man. I'm sorry.
I see. Well, we made changes throughout the tournament. They're the only team that would have been affected, right? Because in the original, when we had like 8 teams from each conference, they would have been the 7 seed actually. Yeah. In the us conference. When we moved it to the conference doesn't matter, but we're just going to do it by record. They would have been where they at? They would have been the 15 seed, right? So
because you got a tab here that says playoffs with forfeits. If we kept the same format, Jerzey's finest would be out.
They would be out. So
you know what though? I'm gonna make this clear again. I just didn't think that motherfuckers was that upset or that conniving to make the playoffs, right? We made this rule because we wanted you guys to play more games and we wanted you guys to handle your shit on the spades table. The fact that this is a problem and the fact that somebody did some shit like this, to me, that is, again, it's a mockery of the league. It's a mockery to me. It's a big fuck you to me, and I don't respect that. And I pray to God, Khalid and Rock, if you're listening, $100 sweeping these niggas. Promise you that. Cash App, Zelle, a Lego man. I'll get you some. I'll get you some new whatever Lego man. Like,
not that couple. Chaos Control play. Well, what are their rules? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know. I think they probably joke.
Okay. Okay. So they have 2 home games, right? The first 2 games are home, and then an away game. Like they can do it because if they get a 2-0 lead, coming back from 0-2 is a big deal. It's hard to do. So,
all right, man.
Mock draft, mock playoffs.
All right, here we go. These are our mock playoffs, and professor, these are our final picks. So if whoever we're picking, we gotta stick with it. These will be our championship. Rock said, "I like my Bills crisp." You know what? Me too. You know what I'm saying? What Chris Tucker say? We want 20 million in 20s, 20 million in 50s, 10 million in 10s. You want any 5s with that?
Hey, but you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do before we pick? So you got a $100 bounty on Chaos sweeping.
I have a
sweeping.
Yeah.
The team I pick, you won the tournament. I'll cash up you 100.
Okay. All right. So say that again. So the team you picked.
Yeah. So the team I picked to win this tournament.
Yeah.
If you win the tournament.
Yeah.
I will cash up you 100.
Okay. So that's $100 on top of the prize money you're going to win on top of winning.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just want y'all to know we still got the free Zoom, so we got 10 minutes left.
Right. We'll actually be back at 9 p.m. Free nights and weekends.
All right. So here we go. All right. So these are our final picks. Whoever we're picking here, This is who we believe is winning. All right. So round 1, Dubs versus 2K9 boys. Hey, Dubs, man, it's been a great season. Actually, it hasn't been a great season. You're out. You're out.
I agree.
You're out.
I agree.
All right. You wait a minute. Diggy said, "Who you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton." I'm sorry.
That was good. That was good.
Who you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton. All right, my bad. All right,
we got 9 minutes, man.
All right, Chaos Control, Jersey's fighters. You don't even have to have that conversation. I got a sweep.
Got it.
All right.
I don't have a sweep, but I do think Chaos is going to come up on top.
Yeah, I got a sweep. That couple versus Toshiba Augie. That's going to be an interesting game. That's going to be an interesting series. Toshiba Augie could pull off the upset if they're playing their best spades. But I think that couple is just a tad bit more focused than Toshiba Augie.
Yeah, I think that couple plays like this. Toshiba plays very up and down.
I agree. I agree.
In a series, that evenness, that levelness is going to come out on top. I got that couple.
I agree. We got Kamasha versus Nuck If You Stuck. Now, I think Nuck If You Stuck is the better team. Kamasha fuck around, surprise you.
They might.
They fuck around, surprise you. What my thing to Ace and Bora is, don't lose game 1. Because then the pressure will be on you in a 5-game series. You know what I'm saying? Do not lose game 1. I'm going to pick Nuck If You Stuck, but do not lose game 1. That is my advice. Do not lose.
I like that call. And I'm going Nuck If You Stuck because I think they won it. Remember we talked about that.
They won it. I agree. 5-12. Jerzey versus Star Studded. I just think Jero's just a better team. I think they're the better team. They have the home field advantage, and I think they could get an ace if it in a game 3 or 4. They could beat them with an ace high. But that series, June Slugger has to come to play.
They have to beat them in 4.
Yeah, they got to beat them in 4. I agree because in 5, anything can happen.
Yep.
All right, I got
because they got to beat them they got to beat them with ace high. Yep.
I agree. Then we got Team to Beat versus Us. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have much tape on Us. But what I will say is that Kojo has surprised me. And I'm going to tell you why. Kojo has played his best. This is his best spades that he's been playing all season. And if we being real right, he's won with 2 partners. He's better than what we think he is. He's been playing good spades. I got him winning round 1 over Us. Again, I don't have much.
Stay in the gym.
They stay in the gym.
They stay in the gym.
I agree.
So,
all right.
Aussie, not this time.
Right. 7-10 TC Tricksters versus M2S. Let me tell you something about M2S real quick. They smartly, I think they purposely did not win yesterday because they would have had to have played Bui in the first round. I don't think they wanted that. I'm going to just be honest with you, right? They're trying to give themselves the best chance to win. But I also don't think they beat TC Tricksters because TC Tricksters has the home field advantage, and I don't see them winning an ace-high game.
So, yeah, I also have TC Tricksters. I got to look back because M2S was actually playing for their division yesterday, and they lost. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Team Bui versus Glory Carriers. Glory Carriers is going to put up a fight. I think in this situation, though, Bui feels like, they got robbed of the opportunity to win their division earlier, with the rule changes and stuff like that. And also, I think experience just wins in this situation. I think experience wins.
So this is a boring first round, but I agree with you. We have the top 8 going to the second round.
No upsets.
No upsets.
No upsets. If you got to pick a team to do an upset, what team does it?
Out of this one, I would probably go. That's tough.
Because here's the thing. We're not picking them, but there's going to be an upset.
M2S surprised us last season. I wouldn't be and listen, they're a quality team. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
It doesn't seem like a 15-12 isn't like high society, but
right. Yeah. Right. I agree. All right. So what we got now 1 through 1 and 8 seeds. We got Team Bui going up against 2K9 boys. Who do you have? That's tough.
I really think experience wins out.
I agree. I agree.
We knows how to play playoff
I
spades.
agree. I agree.
And so this is the first upset, and they take down
They take down.
the bad
I
boys.
agree. I agree. TC Tricksters versus Chaos Control.
This is my second upset.
Mm.
This is my second upset. TC Tricksters takes it. This one's tough because for you, like you already got a bounty on their head, so they're gonna be like worried about, not worried about it, but like they're gonna put a lot of their energy in Jersey.
I
Are they
don't
gonna
think
have enough?
I disagree, right? Because I don't think it's going to take much for them to beat Jersey. I think that the gap between listen, I watched Jersey play double D's. They're about the same. There's a big gap between Chaos and double D's, which means there's a big gap between Chaos and Jersey. I got double D's. I mean, I'm sorry, I got double D's. I got I got Chaos Control beating TC Tricksters in 5.
Okay.
Though. That's gonna be a close series. I got them in 5. That couple versus Kojo. Hey man. Hey man. I got Kojo. That's crazy.
So do I. I got Kojo.
I got Kojo, man. Oh man, I might have the tide turn. Nuck if you stuck versus Jerzey Animals. If I'm going to be honest, I think Jerzey Animals wins in 5. I think they got out in the second round last year. I think they are not losing. They're not losing. They're not losing.
Yeah. So I think you even said it early in the season. You have, Nuck and Ace and Chad about even. So it's June Slugger versus Bora. And who do you pick in that?
I don't think Ace and Chad are about even.
Okay. Well, I still think it's essentially the sidekicks, right? Or not, I'm gonna call them sidekicks, but I think we rank them 1, 2, and so we're looking at June Slugger versus Bora here, and I think June Slugger pulls it out.
I agree,
especially for 5 games.
I agree. I got Jerzey. We got 2 minutes left, yo. So we got to go quick. All right. So my final 4 is Chaos versus Bui, Jerzey versus Kojo. Chaos versus Bui. Who do I have? Whoo-wee. 7-game series. I got Bui. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
They have kicked Chaos Control's ass all over the board. Now, I would not be surprised if Chaos won because Chaos really, really wants to stick it to them very bad. Pause. All right. So I'm gonna go. We got a minute. So I'm gonna go Chaos Control. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Bui in that matchup. And then Jerzey versus Kojo. I'm gonna go Jerzey. And then my finals is Jerzey versus Bui. And ladies and gentlemen, and what Howard Finkel say? And new World Series of Spades champions, just because I believe they got a score to settle. I'm going with my guy Chad. I'm riding with him to the finals. I got a feeling.
I got Jerzey and Bui in the semis. A year or two late. This is like Sting versus Undertaker.
Yeah,
way too late.
Yeah,
but guess what? I think Jerzey wants it.
Yeah,
but they want it too bad.
Ooh.
And I'm picking Bui.
Okay.
I also have TC Tricksters beating Team to Beat. And Leanna, drop me your cash app.
Oh,
TC Tricksters. To the title. Let's go.
All right. So you say TC Tricksters. I say Jerzey. Again, we probably don't think this is going to play out that way, but it's all good, man. But that's it. This is the end of the podcast because we only got less than a minute left.
Seconds.
Thank you. But we coming back, man. What we gonna do is, man, I'm gonna stop the Zoom. We coming back. I got more to talk about.
Bet. Do it.
Let's come back. All right, let me stop in. Hold on, man. I'm still here. We still here.
Recording in progress.
We still here. We are still here. Real rap though. Hold on, wait till he gets back on, cause I can edit this podcast wise. You know what I'm saying? We don't got
here.
Yeah, we still got more left to talk about. We good.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
What you got?
All right. So let's go back. All right, cause we got a fresh 40 minutes. All right. So you picking TC Tricksters, I'm picking Jerome. I want y'all to know this, right? It's not about, at this point now, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Jerome is the best team in the league.
Who's the best team in the league?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a toss-up. I'll give you my top four. I think it's between Bui, TC, Chaos, and 2K9. Those to me, those are the best four teams in the league.
Okay. I agree with TC and Bui.
Yeah.
Above that though, Chad's still a monster. The Monstars. They're still the Monstars. Right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I think Ace has really, really turned it up this year.
He has. Here's
really turned it up.
He has. So wait a minute. Remember we said we was giving out awards. We said that.
Oh, we did say that. Yeah.
We said that. All right. I mean, this we can wing it right here, right? But
let's do it.
Let's, so who's the MVP team this year? All right, and let's start with the finalists. Who do we agree on? MVP team. Who do we have? Who's our top?
All right, so we pick maybe
top three, because that's who
top three
MVP finalists in the NBA. I mean, usually it's the top three. So like this year, I believe it's like Giannis, Joker, and we don't know yet, but we're pretty sure it's gonna be like Giannis, Joker, and I believe Luka Doncic. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay,
so who's the top three in MVP teams?
It's interesting. I need to maybe like think about my top four again, because look, 2K9 boys,
they have to
started
be in the top.
Slow,
yeah,
and turned it up.
And same thing with Chaos. They have to both
turned it up.
Both of those teams have to be in the MVP conversation just because of record alone, right? They all and also TC. They all have over 20. They all have 20 played wins. I'm talking about this season.
They're the only three.
Yeah. I'm not talking about this season with Embiid. Last season Embiid was. This season I'm talking about like who's the front runners for the top three MVP candidates. So right now, for me, the top three MVP candidates is 2K9, Chaos, and TC. What do you have?
I'm still riding with Leanna and Trevor.
They're your MVPs.
They are my MVP this year. Because they've been consistent all year. It wasn't a lot of up and down with them. They were consistent all year. Like you go back weeks and weeks and weeks, and I still got that tab somewhere where it was like, who was the division leader? Who was the division leader? Who was the division leader? And it was TC most of the season. Like they've been the most consistent. We want to keep calling spade a spade. They got robbed of being able to be the division leader. Like I said, they lost that last game. They should have won that game, but they didn't, and they're not a 2 seed. But they're the third best team in the league by a half a game, which is TC. That's my MVP.
I'm gonna go 2K9 boys, and here's why.
Okay.
I think so. 2K9 boys play in so here's the thing. For me, it's 2K9 boys because I feel like they've done nothing but play good spades. They've done nothing but play good spades. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in my opinion, 22 played wins ain't no punk. 22 played wins ain't no punk. Nope. I'm not saying that means that they're you know what I'm saying? But I'm looking and I'm like, yo, like, And if we also counting forfeits, right? Like they're one of 2 30-win teams.
Okay.
They rose to the occasion. They said at the beginning of the season they would end up number 1. They did that. They said it and did it. I gotta go 2K9 boys is my MVP. Now, of course, we'll vote and we'll get the actual like MVP winner, but they are the MVP team for me.
That's fair.
Do we have what's the other category?
I know I wrote them down somewhere. Rookie of the year.
Yeah. Rookie.
Well, it's interesting because all 3 teams that we picked to be MVP were also rookies. Like this is their first season. Right. So I guess for the same, if I'm gonna spread it out a little bit, if I'm not gonna pick the same team for MVP, I'm going with Chaos Control.
They're the rookies of the year?
The rookies of the year. Only because I'm not gonna pick the same team for both.
I'm good with that. I'll agree with that. I'm good with that. And then what do we have? Do we have most improved, right?
We had most improved, and I think we even kind of wavered on another one. So let's talk about most improved first.
What was the other one?
Comeback.
So my thing is, what did they come back? What did you come back from?
Right. So I think we were kind of wavering. It's like most improved, is it like throughout the season or is it like from last season? Right. So and I think that's kind of where we kind of left the conversation. We didn't come back to it.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
So I'll tell you what, let's do both. Let's do like who's improved from the beginning of the season to the end of the season.
Okay.
And then who improved from last season to this season.
Okay. Well, we already know from last season to this season, I mean, Knuck If You Stuck is night and day. For the most, Knuck If You Stuck is a way better team this year than they were last year.
They're a way better team. Let me look at their record from last year. Knuck If You Stuck, where you at? They were 17 and 15 in played games.
They're
19 and 12 this game. That's only 2.5 games. It's not a huge jump.
Yeah, but also you got to remember the competition was weaker last year.
That's fair.
But then again, 15, so that means if they're 17 and 15 last year, that means they was losing to bad teams.
Yeah. I'm looking. Well, obviously it's not Bui. M2S was a team last year. They were 17 and 17, 15 and 12. So I mean, they technically improved. I might have to go sideways on this one. This is tough. Let me look at what Kamasha did. Because Kamasha was 14 and 19 last year. They're 14
that's my pick. They're 14 and 13.
Yeah, 14 and 13. So they're above 500. I mean, they improved by like six games.
They also didn't play. They played more games last year than they did this year.
Yeah, but they got same number of wins. So they got same number of wins playing less games.
That's fair.
That's a hard one though, right? That pause. That's a more difficult one because it's kind of, you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, It wouldn't be Knuck If You Stuck wouldn't be a bad pick. You know, I would have given the award if this season ended a month ago. It'd probably been to Shiba Augie because they turned it up.
They are a better team. Yeah, yep. I agree.
So, and then so the other one would be who improved the most from the beginning of this season to the end of the season.
Well, I know who is the least improved team.
That's fair. Well, there's a tie for that.
Yeah, them and Dubs take the cake.
Because that's wild. Because listen, this.
So from beginning of the season, we
crowned them.
We did.
We crowned them. We were like Jerzey and Dubs in the finals. Like, let's wrap it up now. And here they are battling for last place.
That's what happens when you gotta play on camera.
Hey, man. Shout out to Shake. I want to say, I think I'm gonna say back here because I think, and I don't have the numbers in my face, but
who you got?
I think 2K. 2K. I think they started slower.
It's between them and that couple, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Remember, we didn't respect that couples because they had so many. You know what I'm saying? And then Once we said that about them, they turned it the fuck up. My only gripe with them is they just don't have that many play. It's just the play wins. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they turned it up. And also from beginning to end, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, didn't we start off rocky?
We started off rocky too. Yeah, I'll pull them up in a second, but I just pulled up 2K. So before, so like I know February 1st is kind of our demarcation line, right? But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of their 10 losses, 8 of them were before February. So they've gone, what's this? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're like 13-2 since February. That's easily my vote.
Who's 13-2 since February?
2K9.
Damn. That's big.
I remember there used to be a club in DC. Did you ever, are you that old? There was a club in DC called 2K9. Does anybody remember that?
I remember Club Love though, man, and I used to be up in that motherfucker getting it in. I used to drive down from Philly. I used to get it in. I was getting it in. Hey. 6 in the morning, the paint should be rolling to my house.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I actually got a delivery person here, and I'm not. No, it's good. I'm just saying, like they've been here. You were like, come back. You were like, come back.
What they deliver? What you get delivered? Food?
No, furniture.
We'll go get your furniture delivered. Like what the fuck? Furniture.
Well, let's go and wrap this up. Let's wrap.
All right, but all right. So yeah, man. So overall, right? I think this is what we come down to. For me, I don't think that I do when it comes to picking the champs. I think the reason why I'm so high on Giroux Animals is for one reason and one reason only. Chad lost in the finals at the Roots. Chad lost in the semifinals last year in the online tournament. And in the way he lost, he ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think all season he's been chilling. All season he's been biting his time, just getting some wins, just doing what he needs to do to play. Because I don't think he give a fuck who he plays. The reason why I'm high on them is because I just think that the sheer will to win is there. And I'm not saying nobody else has the will to win. I'm not saying nobody else can win. But what I am saying is that, yo, man, like I think that's going to fuel him throughout this tournament. And that's what I believe. That's what I believe.
I get that. Like I said, TC Tricksters have been consistent all season. Going back to Bui, they were 7-7 before February. You know, ended up 18-12. So that's 11-5. You know what I mean? So big change, right? But it's interesting because you almost expected so much more. Like, you know, again, we were like, yes, they're the champs. You know, they lost 3 games last season. They start 7-7. It's like, well, what happens to the champs?
Before we leave, what was Jersey's finest wins before February?
That's wild.
Yeah, I want to know who did they win before? Who did they beat before February?
Before February, PG's finest, not in the playoffs.
So that's probably a regular win.
Nuck if you suck.
Cheated.
Glory Carriers.
Cheated.
Call a spade.
Don't count.
Double D's.
Well, maybe they cheated, clearly.
We
cheated.
Double D's again.
I'm going either or.
Miller Time, Gotham, right. Double D's again. TC Tricksters, Gotham again.
Cheated.
Chaos and Miller Time, and then they lost 11 after that. Right.
So
right
most of those.
So what's interesting though, like they were against the 2 teams that they would have played this week. They were 3-0 against Double D's. Right? That should have been a food game. They were 2-1 against Gotham. You would think both of those games, matter of fact, if they would have kept their same energy from the beginning, we would have looked at that series. They would have looked at the 2 games like, oh, that's easy. Let's go ahead. That's the warm-up games for the playoffs. But they was like, well, they got to win one of those games, and then they lost. And then they didn't play that second game. So it's like, well, you know, those 2 games should have been like, well, obviously, you know, 5-1 against those 2 teams. It wouldn't matter who the team was. Like, would you bet money against that team if I gave you those numbers? And the answer is probably not. So, you know what I mean? But again, we here now. We on the other side of it. So that's where we are.
Well, now the playoffs are here, and I just got 2 words for you. Don't lose.
If
That's
you
it.
ain't down with that,
I got another 2 words for you. Forfeit.
I think that's one word. But forfeits don't count.
No,
forfeits don't count. Like if you forfeit, you lose.
You lose.
Like
the game.
we count.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So,
yeah. And I'm gonna be on Jerzey's finest hard. You better accept your game. If your game is not accepted by the time what is it? By game start at 8.
1 hour.
If they are not accepted by 7 o'clock, they're out. You lose. Game 1. Done. Don't even play. Don't even play. No. I'm not allowing it. Nope. You forfeited. Nope. I'm on them like ugly on an ape. Yeah. No, I'm. Yeah, dog. It's personal now, and I know I'm not supposed to be personal with teams, but I'm Vince McMahon with them. I'm trying, boy. Boy.
You might need a new role model right now.
Like that ass. Like if they're playing chaos control, they playing chaos control. I want to come in and hit these niggas with a chair, and then cover them for the win. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Happy WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, man. Also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this right now, don't forget we are on Howard's campus. Again, I know the back, you don't say that, but this is Monday, April 8th. We're on Howard's campus. Sign up to be in the World Series of Spades class tomorrow. That's April 9th in the Truth and Service Room in Blackburn. And then we're going to be on campus Wednesday. Sign up for the World Series of Spades HBCU tournament, again, in Blackburn. Again, this is what you get. $2,000 in scholarship money. Don't forget, you get 2 free tickets to the Roots Picnic. Don't forget, we got free food for both events. And last but not least, you get bragging rights. I'm on campus all week, Howard University. I'm around. I'm going to be doing interviews, asking if y'all play spades, why you don't play spades, all of that, all the above. But right now we're on campus. Come check us out. Come sign up in person. Please and thank you. I'm excited.
And that atmosphere is going to be electric. We're going to have a lot of fun.
It's going to be crazy.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We got music. We got food.
Yeah, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Howard,
live spades.
It's on. It's on.
Like,
see you later.
Like I like this online thing. Coming to a live event. Let's go.
Yeah, come through. All right, that's it, man. This was a good podcast. Fuck you, Jersey's finest. For Clint Coley and Professor T, y'all have a good night. The final boss. Peace. All right, we can stop recording. We still live.
Recording stopped.
You can go ahead. I still got more shit to say about it.
You got more energy. I'm here for it. They left. I heard them leave.
Yeah, so, man. No, dog, I can't believe it, man. I can't. I'm hot, dog. I'm hot.
So let's because we're not recording. Let's be like we realize this, right? Like we had a conversation. I was like, yo, check this out. Like here's our scenarios based on this last week of games. You know what I mean? So we talked about it internally. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we didn't share this outside, but like we talked about it internally. It was like, what if?
I would have respected it more if they didn't play last week, or if they didn't play on Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? If they didn't play Wednesday, if they didn't play
Double D's,
yeah, I'd have been like, okay, I get it, right? But it's the fact that you lost to the worst team in the league, and then you duck smoke. Like that's like, how can you look yourself in the mirror and call yourself a spades player? How?
Well, what's the difference? Like if they would have skipped the first game, hold on, hear me out. If they would have skipped the first game, you know, people would have been like, anybody else would have been like, well, they ducking the weakest team in the league, so what's it matter? Like you playing. You know what I
I
mean?
wouldn't have. It's crazy because before I watched that game, I would have thought they were way better than Double D's. So I wouldn't have looked at it as they're ducking the worst team. I would have just been like, all right, it is what it is, right? But it's the fact that you lost to like you could not handle a playoff atmosphere. You could not handle a play like that was a playoff game. You could not handle a playoff game. That's what fucks me up more than anything. You could not handle a legit playoff game. And now you're telling me you deserve to be in the playoffs. But you know what, Professor? Let's talk this through while people are watching, man. Like, look, we get it, man. League is watching. We're having transparent conversations. I could be mad at Jersey's finest all I want. What is the fix for next season for this not to happen?
You know what I think it is? What I think it is the reason why we made this decision is because we had so many teams who had left the tournament.
Yeah, man. And by the
And
way, Jan, if you're watching, this is all your fault. I blame you. Because
low key,
if they're in the tournament, this don't happen. I mean, Jersey's finest don't that's a playoff spot. They're out.
That is a playoff spot. Somebody had to get it, right? But so the spirit of the rule was that played games mattered, and we were throwing out games. Most of the forfeit wins were against teams who had left the tournament. Like I said, before Christmas, 7 teams left the tournament. Yeah. Right. So we just had so many forfeits from those teams. Right. So it was like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and make. So I think here's my fix. The fix would be if you forfeit against a team who's actually still active, then that game counts.
I like that.
That game counts.
I like that. That counts as a played win. Or played loss.
Yeah, because I think if we kind of go back, there's very few of those. There's very few of those like forfeit wins against teams who are still playing, and a lot of those, real talk, were like, hey, the game was at 7, or the game was at 8, and they checked in at 7:05 or 7:14 or 7:28. You know what I mean? Like to K-Dub's point, you know what I mean? But again, that rule is there for a reason. So I'm not against that rule existing. But if you forfeit against a team who's still playing in the player, it's still playing in that game counts, right? And I figured out on my end how to make those games count differently than like if you played, I don't know, whoever's not in the tournament anymore. Those are different forfeits.
I like that. I like that a lot. Because we can't really control teams not showing up, you know, or not. Yeah. I mean, when I say not showing up, quitting during the season, right? Like, you know, things happen, life happens. You can't really commit to a 40-game season. You think you can, and then you realize, especially if you're getting your ass kicked every day, it's like, why am I showing up here to lose anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like I said, 7 of those teams, they played less than 10 games, played games.
Right. So I say that to say. You know, like a team like House of Mythics, right? I think they got on the tables and realized, nah, we ain't like that, or we ain't what we think we are.
This is real.
So I think if you forfeit, or if you have a forfeit win or a forfeit game against a team who's still playing, that game does count. Because think about it like this: if that's the case, then Jersey's finest, they got to play. They would have to play.
They would have had to play that game.
They would have had to play.
Yep. And so this is something we talked about last season, where it was like we wanted to implement a rule where it's like, all right, if you miss so many games, you're out. Like we weren't asking you anymore. Almost like the 6-foul rule in the NBA, right? Because we're patting ourselves after the NBA. If you forfeit 6 games, you're out the tournament. That might be a good rule. I mean, we can talk about it, you know, offline, but something like that sets that line, right? So we were not still wondering
if you're still playing.
Yeah.
Now,
like, listen, you missed 6.
The only way, and I would make that 10 games. You miss 10 games, you're out. But also, it needs to be 10. Here's why: because there's 40 games, right? So 30 is kind of like the benchmark. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still go 15 and 15. My problem is right. If you got that missed game number, which is like 10 games, right? It has to be unexcused, right? Because again, we had last season where, you know, if you remember, right, like I reached out to Tiff, it was like, yo, we knew she was having a baby. It was like, look, yo, like we know if you can't play for, you know, I mean, that's a life-changing event. I know.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you're having, if you know what I mean? If you're having a child or something like that is going on in your life, right? Like, who am I to say, nigga, you need to get on the Spades table? Like, nah, we can reschedule those games for a later date.
Yeah, that's different, right? Like they told us very far in advance, was like, yo, you know what I mean? And so yes, we were able to make accommodations for that really, really easily, if I might add. So,
Talk about Tiff and Dig, that child is now like 1. That child, that's crazy. I totally forgot that. Yo, that child,
that
like,
child
what?
is on Trickster playing
That child is 1.
playing exhibitions.
You know what I mean? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, so here's why I say a lower number, right? And this is me putting my professor cap on, right? I essentially have a rule. Like the attendance rule is, look, here's your number of absences. If you go over this number of absences, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Right? Or you miss something or whatever, right? But it's your fault. I'm letting you know this number in advance. If you go over that number, it is your fault. So if I'm telling you, again, I'm going to advocate for 6. Here's your 6. If you need accommodations, ask us in advance.
Ask us in advance. All right, that's fair.
You know what I mean? So because 10 is a lot. Because if you look at, again, I have to find it real quick, but I think somebody played like 9 games. So if they play 9 games and they miss 10, that's half the season before we realize that they're out the tournament, right? But if they play 9 and they miss 6, okay, we're only really in week 8 by that point.
All right,
you know what I mean?
Six games. That sounds right.
Yeah. So
that sounds right.
Yeah. Somebody asked if NWO is still a thing. It is in our hearts.
It is. Yeah.
For life.
For life.
For life.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, man. I think that, I mean, you know what? Now that the season is over, Professor, let's, you know, this is the last thing I'm going to ask. You know, what are some other things what is one thing that you would, outside of what we just talked about, what's one other thing that you would fix to make the league better next season?
I think we made so many improvements over time, and it adding cameras, right? Adding, you know, and it is almost like to some extent we were reactive to things. What can we be proactive about? That's tough. I think I have to give that. You do for that, because I think I have to give that some thought a little bit.
Well, first of all, next season we are going to have more advanced stats, and we're going to make those advanced.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Trickster definitely hooked us up with some really, really big advanced stats, right? So like, I'm gonna just give, you know, if I could give you a rundown real quick of an advanced stat, you know, that Professor pointed out to me that we just exported, right? So Trickster, we now have club event results, right? And what we now can see is how many like, so let's start here. Hold on. Let me go to the sheet, right? Okay. So I'll take a game. Let me just look at this. I'll take a game. Which game I'll take? I'm just trying to take the one with the most stuff in the columns. I'm going to take. All right. So we'll take, since Chaos Control is here, we'll take that. All right. We'll take the game. Take Chaos Control versus PG 2020. And what game was this date? This game was played on April 1st, right? PG 2020 won the game. Score was 508 to 382, right? So we can now see in this joint like what the average bid was per hand, or per hand. The average bid was 11.5, which means is that, you know, most of the game was 7-4, 6-5, right? We also can see
maybe even some 6-6s, right?
Right. We can tell you how many hands were there, right? Which was 10 hands. We can tell you how many total bags and stuff like that. But then there's advanced stats, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wait a minute. It says that the score is flipped. It says they won that game. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, they won that game.
Oh, they did win that game. My bad. I was looking in the team 2 column. They're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They won the game. Yes. But also we can see shit like shit like
How many times you got set?
how many times. So as those stats pile up, how many times you got set, how many times you bid nil, how many times you made nil, how many times you bid blind, how many times you made blind, how many times you went wheels, how many times you made wheels, stuff like that. Advanced stats for other teams to see how exact, like, instead of going back and watching the game, you can now look at advanced stats and see, like, okay, how does this team that you're about to play, and how does your team actually play? And that can also help you, get better and improve. And you can say, all right, well, what do we need to do better? If we see that your bidding is at, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll take it a step further. Like, let's even take just that. Let's hyper focus on the column about average team bid per hand, right? 11.5 is solid. Right. Again,
that is solid.
6.5 is 11, 7.5 is 12. So it's like you got a lot of those like really high. You don't have a lot of 6.4s.
Right.
You have a lot of 5.5s.
Right.
Like, I'll actually take another game. It was actually a blowout, and I can see why. It was that couple versus team to beat on the 3rd, so Wednesday, right? 5-16 and -209, like some big blowout, right?
Right.
Their average bid was 13.
That means they was locking the board up.
That means they were locking the board up most of the time. Let me see how many wheels did they bid here?
Was it 13 or was it like 12 point something?
No, 13.
Wow.
13. So which means and between them took they both made, so what's the name? So they both went wheels. There were 3 wheels in that hand, right? So obviously those are like 10 fours, right? That's a 14. Right. That's what kind of brings those numbers up, but that's still a big deal. Like, that's, you see, and I'm gonna compare that to TC Trickster, who Leanna, $100 is on my she lives in Raleigh. TC versus PG's Finest, right? Their average bid was 10.38. Those are 5.5s and 6.4s.
What was the average bid of Jersey's Finest versus Double D's?
11.31.
So essentially a little more than
Yeah. So, but still, but 5 sets.
5 sets.
They got set 5 times in that game.
There was 5 sets total, or Jersey's Finest got set 5 times?
Jersey's Finest got set 5 times. Double D's got set twice. There's 7 in that hand. There was 16 hands. 7 of them they got set. 7 hands out of 16. That's almost half the game. Half the game. Somebody got
Somebody got set.
Yeah. There's actually some pretty decent somebody said get some waitlisted teams. Listen.
Yeah.
I mean, look, teams dropping out and reworking the schedule. See, that's the hard part, and that's the thing people like. That sounds like an easy thing from the outside.
That is not easy to rework.
But we're scheduling 600 games before the season starts.
And just to throw that out there, and not to be like the guy who's like, yo, who does this? I'm the one scheduling the games before the season starts. I'm the one who did the schedule, right? Like, that is, I don't think y'all know how hard schedules are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think
very
you know,
difficult.
like, it's a clusterfuck for me, right? Like, and I'm not, you know what I mean? And then this coming season, I'm probably not gonna have no time to do it because I'll be wrapped in I'm shooting my next comedy special in Chicago on October 27th.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think we'll have some things worked out. Like I said, we're improving. At this point, we're turning the knob. Right. It's not going from like 1 to 10. We're going from like 8 to 9, 9 to 10. We're kind of turning that knob a little bit.
Right. I do think we should make these stats available for the playoffs, though. I do think playoff, like when we see these games, like every week, I think, because it's an easy, only not easy, but it's like we're getting the exported stats, right? And I know this might be extra work for you, Perception, but yeah, let me know. I think for the playoffs, we may be able to, you know what I'm saying, roll it out, see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Put the new guy to work. Who's the new guy?
I don't know. He talking. I don't think he talking about you though.
Okay. Because I've been around as long as you.
Yeah, no. I don't think he's talking about you. No, no. But yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. He talking about.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
But anyway,
Hey,
but yeah.
Nuck, I'm gonna do you a favor because I think you calling it out because you beat a team is about as bad as you get beat. You beat a team by 1,200 points.
All right, let's
You
talk
know
about
how it feels to be on the other side of
that. Talk to me. This is the last one. We got 4 minutes left.
Yeah. So 528 to negative 60.55, really high bid, 11.73.
Hold on, who did they play?
PG's finest.
Okay.
They set him 7 times.
Wow. They set PG.
Set him 7 times.
Wow.
That's wild. They bid nil twice and didn't get either.
Who? Nuck or
no,
PG.
PG's finest.
Damn.
This is they bid wheels twice and missed them both. Like, God. So this is the kind of stuff we're going to be able to see.
Right.
Throughout the playoffs.
Right.
I feel like it next season. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Right. Good stuff, man. Great season.
And last but not least, we don't forget we're adding the renege feature next year. I really want to add it to the playoffs. I really do. The only I think you are the reason why we didn't. Is it you? I might
be the reason.
You are the reason why we didn't do it. Only because I think it's new and we don't want to, you know what I mean? But I wish we could add that right now, but that will be added next year along with first hand. There will be an option for the first hand to bid itself next season.
I kind of like that because
it will be an
That's
option.
A very popular live game. Like everybody doesn't play it. I get it.
Yeah, but it'll be an option. It'll be an option.
Colleges do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, so shout out to Howard. Colleges do that a lot. And I know at least at Roots we did that. Are we going to do that for the Howard tournament?
First hands bid itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do that. And we're also going to do, especially for the tournaments in person, we got to do it. 10 on the first hand, you got to go, bruh.
Still not a fan, but I get it.
I'm not a fan, but it saves a lot of time, though.
It does. It saves but it makes Spades a luck game and not a skill game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because essentially you get 10 books. You didn't bid it because first hand bid itself and 10 on the first hand.
Well, you know what? If we got a time limit, then it doesn't matter, right? Because in-person tournaments games have a time limit.
They should. Yeah, they need to.
No, we already do that. Like last year, if you remember at the Roots picnic, 30
we had a 30-minute timer,
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So if you got 10 on the first hand, it don't really matter.
Yeah.
Right?
You're out of there.
So then there's that. We fixed that. There's that. It won't be 10 and you're out of here. Dig asked last question, can we change our rules for the playoffs? Nah. But no. We because I remember Michael from kids.
Yeah, that was a great show.
That was it. But no. Reason being is, everybody, we've done the rules, man. And I just, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't feel like doing the extra work. I just don't.
It is a lot of work. Like I said,
I just don't feel like doing the extra work. Nope.
I think that's the one thing that the league as a whole doesn't realize how much work we put in. They see people in the chat. They see us in the chat. They see us on this podcast. The stats come out, but it's not magic. Like,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's this guy and my messy desk.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So, and also at the same time being a fucking disciplinarian.
With that said, I see you in DC.
Okay.